All right, target 4, average rate of change for any function is the title of the lesson. We can compare different types of functions using average rate of change. So just a reminder, average rate of change can be thought of as similarly to slope. So the change in the y over the change in the x. So I'm going to add on here that we're going to be mainly using this today, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So we're going to really focus on that slope formula with what we're doing today. The next key is we're going to use the first and last x values for the given interval, if it's specific to an interval, for a and b. Now, in our example here, we're going to use continue to use x and y. So our examples, determine the average rate of change for each function. So one thing I notice in this example is I have the function or an equation. I have from x negative 2 to x2, but I don't see any y values. So if I was to write these as ordered pairs right now, I would have negative 2 something and 2 something. And I need these pieces that are missing. So in order to figure this out, figure out what this y value is, I take this function, this equation, and I'm going to substitute negative 2 in for each x. So it looks something like this. So I go y equals negative 2 in parentheses squared plus 6 times negative 2 subtract 2. And I would type that into my calculator. Exactly how it's written right here. And that would give me y equals negative 10. So now I know that this value is negative 10. I got that by substituting the x value, negative 2, into the equation where the x values were. I'm going to do the same thing here. Y equals, and instead of negative 2, I'm going to put positive 2. 2 squared plus 6 times 2, subtract 2. I would type all of this exactly how it is right here into my calculator, and I would get y equals 14. So I have negative 2, negative 10, and 2, 14 are my two values. And I got those by substituting the x values into the equations. So now I can actually solve for what it was really asking for. I'm going to call this x1, y1, I call this x2, y2. So all I did was I labeled x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to use that slope formula right here. So I'm going to go y2, which is 14, subtract y1, which is negative 10, and then I'm going to do x2, which is 2, and subtract x1, which is negative 2. 14 subtract negative 10 is 24. 2 subtract negative 2 is positive 4. And I can simplify 24 divided by 4 to give me 6. So for example A, my average rate of change from x negative 2 to x2 is 6. I'm going to follow the exact same steps for example B. I'm going to go from x2 to x6, so I don't have my y values once again. So I know it's 2 something. I know my x2 is 6 something. So I'm going to take 2, substitute it into the equation above, the square root of, and I'm going to put 2 subtract 2 plus 6 into my calculator. And I would get y equals 6. So my first point is 2, 6. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take 6, substitute it into the equation. I'm going to go 6 subtract 2, the square root of that plus 6, and I get y equals 8. So I have the points 2, 6, and 6, 8. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to use my slope formula. y2 minus y1, so 8 subtract 6, and 6 subtract 2. 8 subtract 6 is 2. 6 subtract 2 is 4. 2/4 can be simplified to 1/2. So my average rate of change for B is 1/2. So example C, we're going to determine the average rate of change. So it talked about that up here in our notes, that use the first and last x values. So I'm going to highlight the first and last x values, or you could circle those points. And I'm going to write those down as ordered pairs. So I'm going to write down -2, 3, that's this right here, and 2, 7, that's this right here. The highest and the lowest x values, unless it's specified in the problem. So I'm going to go x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to go 7 subtract 3, and I'm going to go 2 subtract -2. 7 subtract 3 is 4. 2 subtract -2 is 4, which simplifies to 1. So I basically found the slope of between those 2 points, and my slope, or my average rate of change, is 1. In example D, we're going to grab these points. Here's my lowest x value. There's my highest x value. So I'm going to grab those ordered pairs. This point and this point. This point is 0, 0. This point is over 5, up 40. I'm going to label them x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to go 40 subtract 0 over 5 subtract 0. 40 subtract 0 is 40. 5 subtract 0 is 5. And 40 divided by 5 is 8. So I grab my 2 points, farthest left, farthest right, basically, on my x. I then use the slope formula, y2 subtract y1, x2 subtract x1. I get 40 over 5, and I simplify that to 8. Just a reminder, we need to write the slope formula, y2 subtract y1, x2 subtract x1. So this is really important for us solving these problems. So it says 2 social media websites open their memberships to the public. A says compare the websites by calculating and interpreting the average rate of change from day 10 to day 20. So this is very specific to which coordinates we can use. So we're comparing day 10 to day 20. We can see that our days are the X values and our members are the Y values. So I'm going to write those down as ordered pairs. So I'm going to write down 10 and 1,400. And I'm going to write down 20 and 2,150. Those are the 2 points that it specifically asked for here in the problem. So day 10 and day 20. So then I'm going to label these X1, Y1, X2, Y2. And I'm going to set up my slope equation for my rate of change. So 2,150 subtract 1,400 over 20 subtract 10. 2,150 subtract 1,400 is 750, and 20 subtract 10 is 10, and 750 divided by 10 is 75. So the average rate of change from day 10 to day 20 for website A is 75. In example B, it says predict which website will have more members after 50 days. Explain. So we're going to do the same thing that we did up here from day 10 and day 20 to figure out these points. And so I'm going to set this up by writing these points down. 10, 900, and 20, 1,800. So this is interpreting this graph. These are the coordinates of day 10 and day 20. And so I'm going to write this down as X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Then we go 1,800 subtract 900 over 20 subtract 10. 1,800 minus 900 is going to give me 900. 20 subtract 10 is going to give me 10. 900 divided by 10 is going to give me 90. So based on our information here, we can see that website A is increasing at an average rate of 75 members per day. We can see website B is increasing at an average rate of 90 members per day. So website B is increasing at a faster rate. So we would predict that website B is going to have more members after 50 days because it's increasing at a faster rate. And that's our notes for target 4.